Hello guys, welcome one more time to these YouTube sessions. And we're going to continue talking about theater plays. Don't forget our social practice of the language, okay? Our social practice of the language is read theater plays. And today we're going to learn how to use or the meaning, yes, the descriptions of punctuation marks. As you know, punctuation marks are really important when you read something. So can you tell me the use of punctuation marks? You know that use of punctuation marks? Maybe you know them, and maybe you know the use of punctuation marks, but it's really important to remember one more time the use of punctuation marks, okay? So tell me, why do we use punctuation marks? I'm going to give you my own point of view. I think we use punctuation marks because when you read, in this case, you have a better intonation, then you can understand better the idea when you're reading something. So I think for that reason we use punctuation marks. And here we have many punctuation marks, but don't worry, we're going to analyze these punctuation marks and we're going to know the description. We are going to find the usage of punctuation marks. So here we have the first punctuation mark. Here we have period. We use periods at the end of a sentence, and here we have an example. Let me help, period. Thank you, that's very kind, period. Another neighbor appears, period. So we use periods at the end of a sentence, okay? Not in the middle, not at the beginning of a sentence. No, we use periods at the end of a sentence. So I think that's really easy. And then we have this one, question mark. It is used at the end of a question. Please be careful because in Spanish, we use question marks at the beginning and at the end of a question. But in English, we use punctuation marks just one more time. We use punctuation marks just at the end of a question. Let me give you an example. Here we have a question. Hello, neighbors. What are you doing? We have question mark at the end, not at the beginning of the question. We have question mark at the end. And then we're looking for Nas key. Have you seen it? And we have one more time, question mark at the end of the question. Here we have exclamation mark. It is used to show excitement or emphasis. So when you want to express something and you have to emphasize something, you use exclamation mark. And here we have the example. Because there is more like out here. So you show your emotion, you show your feelings when you use exclamation marks. And it happens the same with the question mark. Exclamation mark, it is used just at the end of the sentence, okay? Then we have comma. Comma, it is used to separate. Then we have comma. Comma, it is used to separate phrases or items in a list, okay? So you can read better and you can understand better. Here we have some names. Tom, Anna, Jim and Richard went for the meeting. Then we have David is an intelligent, loyal, and hardworking employee. David is an intelligent, loyal, and hardworking employee. So here we have a list. So you have to use that commas to separate that phrases or that ideas or items in a list. Okay? So you can find these commas here. And then we have quotation mark. They are used at the beginning and at the end of a phrase to show that it's being written exactly as it was originally said or written. In this case, when you are reading or when you are mentioning an author, you use quotation marks. But in a theater play, they are used to repeat what someone else said. For example, I don't want to eat dinner, said Judith. So you say that, well, actually say Judith, but another person said, I don't want to eat dinner. So, but Judith say that, okay? So then you say what someone else said using quotation marks, okay? Quotation marks are used at the beginning and at the end of the sentence or at the end of the phrase. And then we have parentheses. They are curved lines used to separate explanations or qualifying statements within a sentence. Okay, in this case, in a theater play, we can find parentheses in the stage direction. For example, the three continue searching. Before long, Na's wife comes from work. Okay, so then you in the stage direction help us to know, to notice what are we going to do, or the character, what is going to do by the character. Okay, so you use parentheses to mark and also to find what is the character going to do. Okay, so for that reason we use parentheses. Most of the time we use parentheses in the stage directions. Okay, here we have the examples. And then we have the colon. It is used before a list or quote, and sometimes before a dialogue. Here we have, I ordered the following supplies: potatoes, sugar, flour, eggs, and coffee. And we have the colon here. So when you give a list, when you explain something, or when you give a definition, you use colon. And also before a dialogue. In this case, we can find the dialogue in our theater play. Nas, and then we have the colon. Okay, so it helps you to introduce the dialogue for the character. Okay, so now are you ready? Because here in classroom you have some activities to accomplish according to these punctuation marks. Okay, I'm going to explain you the instructions. So now here we have our first activity, punctuation marks. And here we have the instructions. Read the description of punctuation marks and write its correct name for each one. Here you have an example. So here you have the descriptions for each punctuation mark. And we have the example. It is used to know the end of the declarative sentence, period. Okay, this is called period. So then you're going to read the descriptions and then you're going to decide what punctuation mark is the correct. Okay, here you have the punctuation marks and here you have one answered, period. And then you have another exercise. Write the correct missing punctuation mark in this dialogue. In this case, we have here, once upon a time in a field on a summer day, there was a happy grasshopper who liked to play, sing, and dance all day. So you have to decide what is the correct missing punctuation mark. Okay? And then here you have a note. Don't forget that punctuation marks are always a great guide to give a text correct pause, intention, and meaning. Okay, so this is your exercise. If you have some doubts or you have some questions, you can watch one more time your video and then you can answer these exercises, okay? So now guys, you're ready to answer your exercise. And please upload your exercise here in Classroom and then I can check your exercise, I can give your grade and you can learn more about punctuation marks. And this is all for today. This is all for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and bye bye.